Welcome to the Equinox Luxury Gym in Gramercy at 24th Street. You can visit this location at 315 Park Ave South. Visit via mass transit using the 23rd Street Subway Station. Use MuniMeter.com to better understand on video the neighborhoods surrounding your local Equinox luxury gym. So, I first came up with the idea for MuniMeter when I was working with NBC Olympics at the Winter Olympics in Turin, Italy, the Torino 06 Winter Games. And I was sitting in a room. My responsibilities at the time under Mark Levy were in Control C, were to manage all of the footage coming back from the ski jumping and hockey, which was a pretty big assignment. And I was sitting in a room at my editing bay. We use Avid Technologies. And I was surrounded by just incredibly vast amounts of footage of Italy, of athletes, the landscapes, the water, the mountains, the helicopter shots. You know, any type of footage that was even remotely relevant to Italy, Turin, the Winter Games, and all of the sports. I was in the room that housed all of those, prize-winning, high-quality, just absolutely marvelous tapes and the footage. And I thought to myself, this is really interesting. This was back in 2006. I thought to myself and I said, hey, NBC is actually training me on how to film and edit stories about a whole country. When we go into the Olympics, we are kind of like a media army, except our weapons are cameras and microphones and, all of the accessories, involved with that. The jibs and the cranes and the microphone, the wireless, just a lot of accessories. And we're talking about potentially hundreds of millions of dollars of camera equipment. And I thought to myself, wouldn't it be interesting if somebody could categorize all of New York City in a similar fashion? And then I put off the idea until 2011. In 2011 is 5 years later is when I got the guts to actually pull the trigger and film all of New York and create what ultimately has become and is MuniMeter.com. So basically what happened was I finished my schooling at Columbia. I finished with my MBA in May of 2010. And I made a bunch of mistakes. I always knew coming out of Columbia that I would rejoin CBS Corporation. And I had told my, friends and family that were interested and, want me to be okay, that all I needed to do was maybe make a few phone calls and that I would get right back into the company. The mistake I made was not really doing my research on the company. I had been there for so long that I had just assumed ignorantly that getting any six-figure salary and benefits package from CBS Corporation would be perfect and everything is amazing. And I ultimately did a couple of entrepreneurial projects and ventures after I graduated and in May of 2010. And in January of 2011, after making just a few phone calls, I joined CBS once again. Except this time, I was in a division that was completely new to me, and I basically, how do we say this, was kind of like a fish out of water. This was not the CBS I was used to. At the same time, I didn't do my homework and do reference checks on the folks over there. And basically, there were some kind of weird things that I thought and saw were happening, which just things didn't feel right. And one day I came to work and I was asked to just simply leave the building. And I said to myself, how shady can things actually get over here? This is really weird. On that day, as I was leaving the building, after having just received a huge victory, I had won funding for an app just 1 or 2 weeks prior to my departure. In the low 6 digits range, if you're talking in terms of how much money it was. On that day is when I decided that, okay, this is a bad thing that happened to me, yet at the same time, now the door is wide open for me to create and do something interesting. So the downside was that, I was let go, yet the upside was that I had a world of opportunity waiting for me, and MuniMeter now could suddenly see the light of day, and now I had the opportunity to build ultimately what needed to be built. Use MuniMeter.com to better understand on video the neighborhoods surrounding your local Equinox luxury gym. Welcome to MuniMeter.com. The entire New York City subway system on film. To schedule a visit to your local Equinox luxury gym, visit Equinox.com.